Welcome. I hope your belief in the law of attraction is growing. Today, I want to give you an exercise that is actually going to make you better at manifesting anything you want. Whether you're trying to manifest an SP, whether you're trying to manifest more success, more abundance, more money into your life, whatever it is, this exercise is going to help you do that because it's going to shed some light on the things that you're doing that are actually holding you back. We've already talked about how all manifestation techniques work. Some are going to work better for you than they do for others. But the secret is really, what are you doing when you're not implementing those manifestation techniques? So if you're visualizing, what are you doing when you're not visualizing? If you're using affirmations, let's say for 5 or 10 minutes a day, what are you thinking about for the remainder of the day? And that's where this challenge is going to help you by showing you exactly how many times you're thinking about things that are contradicting what you're trying to manifest. So what you're going to do is, and it's very simple, all you have to do is keep track of how many times you have thoughts that come up and how many times you entertain those thoughts that are contradicting what you're trying to manifest. So we all know what we're trying to manifest at any given time. It doesn't really matter what it is, whether it's, a car, money, SP, it doesn't matter. Anytime you have a thought that comes up that is telling you the opposite of what you want, you need to take note of that. And you can do that simply by just writing it down, just keeping like a little tally of, so that you can count the numbers. You can make it easier for yourself, download an app that has a counter so you can kind of click it every time you have those thoughts and you entertain those thoughts. And I recommend doing this for a day first, just so you see exactly how many times you're doing this in one day. But if you have a little bit more discipline, or if you're curious, you can try doing this for a week or for a few days. And that's really going to show you how many times we think of what we don't want. And then it's going to prove that, if your 3D reality, if your circumstances are still showing what you don't want, it's because that's your dominant belief. That's what keeps coming up naturally time and time again. I just did this recently for something that I was trying to manifest, and it was actually something small, which I didn't have too much resistance to. And I didn't notice how many times that I was actually thinking that it probably wasn't going to happen the way I wanted to. And when I actually stopped and tried to take notice of that, I really realized that, what I was telling myself, the thoughts that were coming up naturally were dominating, any positive affirmation that I was using for that thing, or dominating any visualization that I was doing for that thing. And it was kind of eye-opening for me because I've manifested a lot of things into my life. Now, we're always manifesting, we know this, but I feel like I've consciously manifested quite a few things, both big and small. And sometimes, even something small, can can give you some trouble, right? There's different obstacles in our lives, and some things come easier to some than they do for others. Like manifesting, a new job for somebody might be easier than it is for somebody else. Manifesting a new car or something luxurious might be a lot easier than it is for somebody else. And if you do this exercise, keep track of how many times you are thinking of the things that you don't want. You're going to get this moment where you kind of like snap out of it and you're like, whoa, I was just thinking about that and I didn't even know it. And that happens to us a lot, where you'll be doing something, just everyday mundane tasks, and then you'll be thinking about these things and ruminating on outcomes that you don't want. And when you begin to take notice of that, that's when you can start to take control, because you get better at catching those feelings. And I've talked about, learning to catch those feelings and just stop them in their tracks, right? Realizing, being able to notice when your thinking doesn't align with what you want. And the more you do this in the beginning, the better you're going to get at it. And it starts with just keeping track, right? So I recommend, again, that you do this for one day, just to start. So here are the steps, right? You're going to keep track by writing down or just ticking off on a piece of paper, on an app. Just make sure you keep a count of how many times you're thinking thoughts that don't align with what you're trying to manifest. And then do this for a day, right? Once you do it for a day, you're going to be shocked because we all naturally think thoughts that don't align with what we want quite often, and we don't even realize it. After you do it for a day, I recommend that you try it for a few days or a week. Okay, and just realizing this in and of itself is going to make you so much better at doing whatever technique you like to do, because you're going to be practicing, you're going to be working that muscle that, realizes and catches those thoughts. You're going to be able to direct and focus your attention where you want so much better. So I hope you try this out. This is, in my opinion, one of the best exercises that you can do that's going to help every single technique that there is out there when it comes to manifestation. So let me know in the comments if you were surprised or shocked by your findings. If you weren't surprised by your findings, let me know if you're having trouble with this technique or if you have any questions about it. But I'd love to hear how this worked out for you. I know that this has helped me a lot, and I really hope that you give it a shot because I know it's going to help you.